here on 5. Chris?
That's right, Rick and MB. He is a social media megastar. His name is Jake Paul. We should note he has been a guest on the KTLA 5 morning show, but tonight we visited his West Hollywood neighborhood because of complaints from neighbors. This is a story you will see only on 5. Social media and internet sensation Jake Paul thrills his fans with wild stunts and antics.
Take your left hand off and push.
The 20-year-old Disney actor is a pop culture powerhouse with 8.5 million followers on Instagram and YouTube. He rents a large house in an upscale West Hollywood neighborhood, and this tight-knit community has become the new setting for many of his pranks and performances.
The neighbors hate me, but I'm still gonna flip and send it.
He apparently makes his address no secret, and that piece of information draws an endless stream of fans, mostly young girls, the day we visited, and their parents to the property.
He's funny. Savage.
Savage?
Yeah.
A recent stunt involved tossing furniture into an empty pool and setting the pile on fire. Neighbors say flames eventually grew higher than the house, and as the pit was burning and smoking, they were fuming.
We used to be a really nice, quiet street, and now we're just this, like, war zone. We're families here, and we're more than happy to have them live here if they're respectful of their neighbors, but they're not.
But as neighbors living with this every day, we're fed up.
Look at him.
Shortly after we arrived, look who came out to greet us.
Jake, Channel 5.
Yeah, they're not subscribed.
Jake, Channel 5. Are we live?
Hablamos español también.
Oh, está bien. Te amo mucho.
Jake, I wouldn't do that.
Why?
I just wouldn't do that. A lot of the neighbors are complaining. They're very upset.
No, why?
They say that you've created a living hell out here. That it's like a circus.
Yeah, it is.
All the fans.
I mean, but
the
people like going to
stunts,
circuses, right?
There's nothing we can do, though. The Jake Paulers are the strongest army out there. Yeah.
I have one question for you.
Yeah?
What are those?
I guess he didn't like my shoes, but I don't think they're so bad. Neighbors I spoke with tell me next week they're going to have a special meeting with city leaders and police and code enforcement officials and so forth. Depending on what happens there, they will decide whether to file a class action public nuisance lawsuit against Jake Paul.
Tonight, friends of social media star Jake Paul are responding after KTLA's report that Paul is wreaking havoc on a West Hollywood neighborhood.
I wouldn't crawl up there.
Why?
I just wouldn't do that.
I wanted to interview here.
The 20-year-old YouTube star is accused by neighbors of performing dangerous stunts in the area and putting people in danger. Paul also gave out his address to fans who routinely flock to his house. Residents are considering a class action public nuisance lawsuit against Paul. A friend issuing this statement on his behalf: "We totally sympathize with our neighbors."
Mr. Nick Crompton right there.
And delivered letters to them apologizing for the inconvenience and upset that the crowds caused by us living here. Hopefully we will.
Neighbors are saying it's like a war zone out here.
Yeah, that's a little dramatic, but we do understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are, that is crazy.
Pretty lit from the inside, though.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's like a war zone out here, and like there's like fires and stuff catching on fire and all that.
We have really good special effects out there in the back.
I don't see any fires, so that's crazy.
What's up, bro? Hey, what are you? Jake, man.
What's up, bro?
Oh my God.
You made it to be the #1 story on Daily Mail right now.
Bro.
You're. So you.
I'm here with my friend Jake Paul.
Hey, lit.
So
here, wait, hold on.
Okay.
I have an official reporter that's going to represent us as Team 10.
is a war zone. Do you feel that this neighborhood is a war zone? No? Do you think that Jake is a nice guy, or do you think that he's giving the neighbors problems? Huh?
He's good.
He's
To a career for yourself.
Lots of hard work. You know, I had to transition off of the platform and develop like the acting skills, and it was a good like kickstart to my career. And I had to like use that to get into these big rooms in Hollywood. And then once I was in these rooms, I had to like show my full potential and the acting skills that I have.
I imagine the people that you were sitting across from in those auditions weren't necessarily millennials who had been tracking your every move on social media. How did you explain to them what you had been doing and how you had built up your skill set?
Yeah, I think the numbers would speak for themselves. So when they would hear that I had like 15 million total followers, that like touched them, and they would go home and ask their kids if they knew who I was, and a lot of them would say yes, and so that was powerful to them, even though they didn't know who I was.
Jake, I've got to ask you about Vine and its long-term like viability. A lot of people have said if Twitter starts to run into trouble, they should probably sell it. How useful do you find it today versus a few years ago?
Yeah, so Vine was super popular a couple of years ago, and it's on its like dwindling edges along with Twitter, but they're still both very powerful platforms, and it's just about translating your content onto other platforms. So now like Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat are super popular, and so I just create content on those platforms and grow an audience there. And social media is kind of the same across the board, so you just have to know how to engage your audience, and you'll be popular on any platform that comes up.
And then the other goal, Jake, of course, is to translate that into money. Can you share with us how much you're actually making from social media? Is it 6 figures, 7 figures? What can you say?
So starting out, it was 6 figures, then moving up into 7 figures.
Hello.
As you get like as you get more and more popular and start to build a brand name for yourself in the space, you start working with big Fortune 500 companies, merchandising deals, you can tour. So there's a lot of ways to monetize. But if you have millions of fans and you can convert like even 5% of them to pay for something of yours.
Jake Paul's van, rear end another car. We're gonna go check it out. He's still in standstill traffic. No one's moving really, so I think something did happen. We'll see in about like 5 minutes. It's right up there. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. Was I right or was I not right? All right, there's the police. Yep. There's the police right there. Let's see what we got. Oh, the Model X is probably part of the crew or something. That's why he was like, oh, look at the axle. It's fucked up. Yeah. Oh, fuck. It's pretty serious. Look. Yup, that was definitely them, dude. No kidding. Dude, that van is fucked. Yep. Oh, man. What are the chances of that? We were actually headed towards a meet in, where's this meet at?
West Covina.
Base Tuesdays in West Covina, and we're on the opposite, we're on the south side, and we saw the van get in an accident, so of course I had a U-turn to check it out, so. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that axle is ruined, son. Gone to the meet and there are cops everywhere. Huh? Zooming in. What was those lights?
That was a cop.
Cop?
Yeah.
What the hell, man?